work together. I did it 'cause I wanted to. This mask is for loving you.
Dear Father, yeah.
See, love is kind when the world is cold. Things are just about over me and your girlfriend. Feeling like you're loving, I just cannot resist. Love is no greater love. I'm the only one, you're the only one. Only what you do. See the girl with the broken heart.
I know I'm not the only one.
I don't need the questions though. Love won't leave me out. Just a couple of forever. Now I know how to love somebody. I never, ever, never wanna ever forget. You took my case in a debt I could not pay. Love is you. Just a couple of forevers. If I have my way, I won't forget to be in love with you.
Chrisette Michele didn't just get canceled, she got erased. A Grammy-winning powerhouse once celebrated for her voice is now a ghost in the music industry. No radio play, no big performances, no industry cosigns. It's like she never existed. And yet, Kanye West wore a MAGA hat, publicly supported Trump, said slavery was a choice, and he's still selling out arenas. So what makes Chrisette different? Why did her career vanish while others got second chances? The truth behind Chrisette Michele's downfall isn't just about politics. It's about who the industry chooses to protect and who it throws away. And the answer? Well, it's not what you think. Most people think Chrisette Michele's career ended because she performed at Donald Trump's 2017 inaugural ball. And yeah, that performance was a bad move. No one's arguing that. But if getting too close to Trump was a career killer, why did Kanye West survive it? Why did Steve Harvey sit down with Trump and keep his TV deals? Why did Travis Green, the gospel singer who performed at the same event as Chrisette, escape the same backlash? The truth is, Chrisette wasn't just canceled. She was punished. She thought performing at the event could be a moment of unity. She even reached out to gospel artists like Jonathan McReynolds and Ty Tribbett to join her. They refused. And when the backlash hit, she was the only one left standing in the fire. And the moment she stepped off that stage, her career was done. Her fans turned on her. Her label dropped her. Radio stations blacklisted her music. Even her own family cut ties. But why? What made Chrisette different from every other artist who's made a bad career decision? Because this wasn't just about politics. It was about who the industry lets survive and who it decides is disposable. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Chrisette Michele was erased because the industry doesn't give black women the same grace it gives black men. Kanye West publicly embraced Trump, wore the MAGA hat, and went on bizarre rants about slavery being a choice. Yet he still sells out arenas, gets brand deals, and releases albums that go straight to #1. Lil Wayne met with Trump before the 2020 election. Ice Cube had direct conversations with his team. Kodak Black got a pardon from him. They're all still in the industry, making music, getting paid. But Chrisette sang one song at an event, didn't endorse Trump, didn't make political statements, and her entire career was gone overnight. And what about Travis Green, the gospel singer who performed right next to her at the inaugural ball? His career didn't just survive, it thrived. He's still headlining gospel tours, winning awards, and getting industry support. So if this was really about Trump, why didn't they face the same backlash? Because black men in the industry get second chances. Black women don't. Lauryn Hill was blacklisted for being late to shows. Janet Jackson's career never fully recovered after the Super Bowl incident, while Justin Timberlake went on to thrive. Megan Thee Stallion got death threats for speaking out against Tory Lanez. When a black woman messes up, she doesn't get a rebrand. She doesn't get redemption. She gets erased. Chrisette Michele wasn't just canceled, she was sacrificed. Chrisette Michele thought she could be a bridge stage. She believed her performance could be a moment of unity. But here's the reality. No one asked for that. She wasn't invited to that stage to bring people together. She was invited to be a pawn, a token, a way for Trump's team to say, see, we have black entertainers supporting us. And the moment she stepped off that stage, she wasn't just canceled, she was abandoned. The industry pretended she didn't exist. People who once worked with her stopped answering calls. Her label dropped her instantly. Bookings disappeared. Even Questlove, someone who was part of the same culture that once celebrated her, publicly called for her removal. Meanwhile, men in the industry made way bigger mistakes and got to move on like nothing happened. Let's be real. If Chrisette were a man, would this have played out the same way? Because Kanye West did everything short of campaigning for Trump, and his fans still line up for his merch drops. Tory Lanez literally shot a black woman, and people were still making excuses for him. Chris Brown, countless scandals. Still making music, still winning awards. But Chrisette Michele, one performance, one decision, and her career was dead on arrival. That's the difference. That's the double standard. Chrisette Michele didn't just lose fans, she lost everything. Her label, Capitol Records, dropped her immediately after the backlash. Not a warning, not a probation period, just gone. Her scheduled performances, canceled. Her album distribution deal, gone. Radio play, non-existent. It was like the industry flipped a switch and decided she no longer existed. And it wasn't just corporate execs. Even the black community turned on her. Her own family members, some of whom were affiliated with the Black Panthers, cut ties with her. She admitted that after the performance, she felt completely isolated, saying, "My family has disowned me." And when she realized just how much she had lost, she begged for a meeting with Trump, not to align with him, but just to have something to show for the destruction of her career. And guess what? It never happened. Trump never spoke her name, never acknowledged her sacrifice. She was nothing more than a political prop for an administration that discarded her the moment the event was over. Meanwhile, Kanye got personal calls. Lil Wayne got a pardon. Ice Cube got meetings. Chrisette got nothing. And that's when it became clear. This wasn't just about a political choice. This was about who the industry allows to survive and who it doesn't. Chrisette Michele didn't just lose her career, she lost herself. The backlash hit her so hard that she spiraled into a deep depression. She stopped leaving the house, stopped making music, and started self-medicating with alcohol and prescription pills just to numb the pain. In one interview, she admitted she would wake up next to a bottle of Bacardi and pills, wearing the same pajamas for days, and it only got worse. She was eventually diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but instead of getting support, she was ridiculed. Then, in October 2017, she posted something shocking, a graphic photo of a miscarriage she allegedly suffered due to the stress of being canceled. People were devastated for her until internet detectives reverse image searched the photo and found out it wasn't even hers. The picture came from a pregnancy forum, meaning Chrisette had taken someone else's painful moment and posted it as her own. When she got caught, she had no choice but to admit it. She went on The Breakfast Club and confessed that she had borrowed the image because she wanted people to understand the severity of what she was going through. But by then, the damage was done. People weren't just mad at her for performing at Trump's event anymore. They were calling her a liar, a fraud, a woman so desperate for attention that she faked a tragedy. And at that moment, whatever little career she had left completely collapsed. Here's the part that stings the most. The industry moves on, but only for certain people. Kanye West? He had multiple public meltdowns, doubled down on his MAGA support, made anti-Semitic comments, and lost billion-dollar deals. But guess what? People still stream his music, wear his sneakers, and defend him like he's untouchable. Chris Brown, countless scandals, domestic violence, legal issues, industry beefs, yet he still wins awards, headlines tours, and has the industry's full support. Tory Lanez, literally convicted of shooting a black woman, and there were still people rallying behind him, playing his music, defending him, acting like he was the victim. Meanwhile, Chrisette Michele did one thing, a performance she thought would promote unity, and she has never been forgiven. She's been trying to rebuild her career for years, but every time her name comes up, people say, "Oh, isn't that the girl who sang for Trump?" It's like she's permanently frozen in time, while every other artist, no matter how controversial, no matter how problematic, gets chance after chance after chance. And that's the real question here. If Kanye could bounce back, if Chris Brown could still have a career, if the music industry can turn a blind eye to so much worse, why is Chrisette Michele still blacklisted? Because it was never just about a bad decision. The industry doesn't cancel people equally, and when a black woman makes the wrong move, she doesn't get to come back. So now, years later, Chrisette Michele is still here, but the industry acts like she doesn't exist. She's released independent music. She's performed for small crowds. She's opened up about her mental health struggles and even admitted she deeply regrets performing at Trump's inauguration. But has that changed anything? Not really. Meanwhile, Kanye West has done way worse, and people still call him a genius. Tory Lanez is serving time for shooting someone, and there are still fans waiting for his release. Even artists who've been accused of crimes, abuse, and scandals that destroyed lives get to stage comebacks. But Chrisette, she made one misstep, and she's still blacklisted like she committed the ultimate sin. So let's be real. Does she even have a chance? Because if Chrisette Michele had been a black man, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. She would have been forgiven already. The industry loves a redemption arc, but not for black women, not for someone like Chrisette. So now the question is, does Chrisette deserve a second chance? Will the industry ever truly forgive her? Or is she proof that black women don't get the same grace as everyone else? One thing's for sure, she didn't just get canceled. She was erased. And the people who erased her? They don't even talk about it anymore. But maybe it's time we start the conversation. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should Chrisette be uncanceled, or was her career doomed from the moment she stepped on that stage? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we have more stories that the industry doesn't want you to know. See you in the next one.